Episode 2 is crazy. All right,
I'm all about the episodes.
same. Three, two,
Five,
one. No, I'm just kidding.
4,
I
3,
feel like it's
2,
iCarly.
1. And we're back at it, man. The
Yo,
Homies
the
Podcast.
Homies
Ergo
podcast.
here.
Ergo with this drink already in his hand, already drinking that, trying to show it off to the viewers while I'm here, being sobered up.
It
but
is what it
uh,
is, man.
but yeah, man, how are you? Are you doing good? I haven't like seen you since like Sunday.
Yeah, it's man. I had a long day today
You had a long
for
day.
work, and
What
so
happened?
I'm working from home, so it's not like
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going anywhere.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's like I stayed a little bit longer, did a little bit more things I needed to knock out, and I feel pretty. There's a specific feeling about being productive during the day
yeah.
and
Okay.
being kind of like tired and it's not the bad kind of tired where it's like negative. It was more of like, oh, it was the positive tire where it was,
Oh, I
I was I
see.
was I was productive. I had a great day. I'm mentally exhausted from the day, but it was fantastic. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just like I feel really good about
You
it.
feel like you accomplished something.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's actually a really
How was
good
your
feeling.
day?
Mine's it's been kind of stressful the past 2 days because I've been like trying to like doing these audio stuff, just like technical difficulties, and I finally figured it out. But yeah, aside from that, man, the first question I got you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? So, like how we're in the Smash community, right? I don't think we've ever like actually asked each other this question of like, if you could be any Smash character, who would you be, right? Because I've never imagined myself like actually.
Like personified?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like if you could be like a Smash character, like okay, let's say
Yeah, like
yeah,
like if I could be
yeah,
Fox, or if I could
yeah.
be Falco or
That's so
something.
weird though. Like imagine
Well,
like you
this is
being Fox. Like
this
that's
is hey, this is an easy one for me.
is it just Falcon? That's it?
It's Falcon.
Why is that?
It's Falcon with an influx of Falco.
Influx of Falco? Give me more.
Yeah.
Explain more.
So so Falcon for me is like he's the hardworking guy that's like, again, he's the 9 to 5 guy. He's working really
Oh
hard,
yeah.
and everything he does, you feel good about getting.
Okay.
It's like I'd rather, I find myself working hard for something like when I'm in the zone and I'm feeling it and I'm doing what I want to, as
I see.
opposed to like the benefits from what I get, or like just because I'm in this position, I don't have to constantly do this, and I think it reflects in gameplay, and play style as well,
Yeah, I see.
because it's like your personality bleeds through it. And I say an influx of Falco because, you know sometimes I want to just like go crazy.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I just want to go crazy, and I specifically say Falco because he's one of the most extreme characters. Like, this guy's
Yeah, that's
already
true.
at death percentage.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. Super glass cannon, dude. He hits hard.
super glass
He
cannon.
hits hard, but he falls easily. Is that
Uh-huh.
you? Is that you when you get
Well,
drunk?
well, well, the thing is, I wouldn't say I fall easily, and I wouldn't say I have like a glass jaw,
Okay.
but I would say that like it's more of just like I put like I don't go all in, but like I would say that's how I play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
get
it's
it.
it's a little bit hard to articulate, but
Uh-huh.
you know, it is what it is. How about you?
No, for me, I just want to say like 100% Falco, dude. 100% Falco. That's it. That's it. So I just think 'cause like I like Falco's like personality. He's cool. He's cool as fuck. And also like his and let's see what else, like his attitude, the way he talks, he's cocky. I'm like, dude, that's me. That's me.
Isaac Lombardi,
Yeah,
swipe
dude.
me on Tinder, Bumble,
Yeah, dude.
OkCupid, Hinge, whatever you want.
The only papa you need. That's the only papa you need.
Oh
No,
my god.
nah, dude. Okay, I was having like this debate, right, on like Twitter, right? Twitter, even like our like DMs, right? How like people were saying like how Taco Bell was like worse than Chipotle. I don't agree with that, man. I don't agree with that at all. Taco Bell is way better than Chipotle.
Yeah.
I want to say Taco Bell is way better than Chipotle, and I'm gonna stand by that statement 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What
That's
what do you
real.
what do you prefer then?
You know, you said you stand by it,
Yeah, I'm
and
standing.
you came out so strongly about standing behind your boy Tebow.
Yeah,
Why?
bro, I'm telling you, the food is just way better than Chipotle. Chipotle
But like
sucks.
how or why?
Dude, Chipotle just sucks. Like, the Chipotle food is just like bad. It's bland. I keep saying it's bland because it is. There's like no like flavor to it. Like supposedly people like who like I guess specifically make like like the meat or whatever, like prepare everything. Like it depends on who
Mm.
makes it, which makes it better. I'm like, no. Each time I went to like Chipotle, it tastes the exact same. I don't want that. I don't want that. I prefer like good meat, just a good taste overall. With Chipotle, it's nothing like that. It's just like, all right, this is just like I could just make this at home, but even better. Well, like whereas Taco
Well,
Bell, you can make like Taco Bell. There's Doritos Locos Tacos, right? Like Doritos Locos Tacos are so
yeah.
fire. That's what I'm saying. They got chalupas. They got
Well,
unique food.
it's interesting that you bring that up. I don't disagree with the options. T-Bell has a lot more options than Chipotle, but I do think it's interesting that you think the food is like particularly better. I'm honestly I love both. I would rank Chipotle a little bit higher in terms of
Why?
quality,
Okay, quality,
and
yes.
here's why. And here's why. It's because Chipotle, their ingredients are fresh.
That's
Their
true.
ingredients are fresh, and I know T-Bell's food. Some of like the meat in particular has specifically been like frozen or reused
Oh,
for a
I see.
few
Okay, no,
days.
that is
Where
gross.
Chipotle, yeah, Chipotle is not really on that great. Like that's also
Yeah,
Chipotle's entire promotional campaign for like the past 10 plus years. It's they're using the freshest ingredients, kind of a like a Mexican cuisine based off of like Subway. Everything's kind of
yeah,
fresh, and you can kind of make it into whatever you want
yeah.
with the options. But for me, Taco Bell has higher highs,
High
and
highs.
so
Yes,
that's yeah,
I'm
and
telling
so
you.
that's interesting because like there will be times where I am like just blazed out of my mind or
Blazed
super
out of your.
destroyed drunk, and I have some T-Bell, and the little kicker that I always put on it, not many people do this, I always put some guac on my
Guac.
food at T-Bell,
Yeah.
and the guac adds a specific type of moisture to the texture
Uh
that's
huh.
like every bite you get is just so scrumptious. Whereas I think okay, so particularly for me when I'm at Chipotle, I
Yeah.
get a lot of burrito bowls. I'm a big fan of the burrito bowls. I usually can't do burritos, and it's not like I can't do them. It's more of just like I prefer the burrito bowls just because I'd rather like have it in a plate and like just knock it out where I can
Yeah.
get access to all the ingredients
Yeah.
as opposed to eating a burrito where it's like, oh, if I eat this part, I'm only going to have access to this particular meat and this particular veggie and like this particular rice within the confines of the bite.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
I
Yeah.
think I'm getting a little too micro with
No, yeah, good, cause
it.
you're doing all specifics. I'm like, what the heck?
But the thing is, when I eat Taco Bell with guacamole, and again, it's like I can't be in a sober mindset. It's I that's terrible to say,
The
but
sober
it's just like
mindset.
when I'm like a little bit like chopped,
Yeah.
or actually I could be destroyed chopped. Let's be
Yeah.
real, or I could be super drunk. And I have that guacamole mixed with the cheese, mixed with the meat, mixed with the lettuce, mixed with the tomato, mixed with the Diablo fire sauce. Woo! That thing just
He said,
explodes
"Woo."
in my mouth, man.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes. So the thing is, so again, it's like I think Chipotle is more consistent, but T-Bell is like it's like the highs are just super high and the lows are like terrible because
yeah, I can see.
sometimes the tortilla will just be so off
I
at
mean,
T-Bell.
like, okay, personally, I've never had like any like Taco Bell like lows. It's always been like just like the consistent highs for me. I like even though like yeah, like I've never had a low with Taco Bell ever. I don't get what's the low. You said the tortilla, but like how? Like is it like cooked? Is it like not cooked well or like what?
It's usually that I would say it's usually like it's kind of either burnt or like it's kind of stale sometimes. Like
I
I've
guess.
never really had stale tortilla at Chipotle. even though I don't get the tortilla much.
Uh huh.
But this is also to assume that like you're eating it right away and you're not letting the food sit. Because some people will be like, oh yeah, I got Chipotle or I got like T-bone, and they'll put it in the fridge and then they'll have it like after a few hours, and they're like, oh yeah, this is why I like the other one. But it's like that's so you're not doing it right. You got to eat it right when you get it.
Yeah, yeah, that
You know
is
what I
true. That
mean?
is true. Yeah, because like
Like,
yeah, that is true. That's like the only downside, yeah, is like when you leave it outside for like a couple like hours and like it's kind of like soggy. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to eat that anymore. But yeah, it's only good when it's hot, dude. That is true. That's true. But hey, speaking of fast
hey,
food though, wait, what were you gonna say?
yeah. What were you about to say?
I was about to say, speaking of fast food, which one is actually your fast food? I've never like heard you say what's your favorite fast food? I've never heard you
What's my
say.
preferred fast
Yeah, yeah.
food,
What is
or
your
like
preferred?
my
What is your
okay,
preferred?
man. So like I said, Tebow it has some of the highest highs.
Okay.
So Tebow's definitely in there. I can't give it a ranking system.
It's not like a wait. So
Um,
it's not like a. Would you say it's like a high tier for you, Taco Bell?
yeah,
Oh
yeah. Tebow
dang.
is definitely a high tier for me.
How about Chipotle though?
Tebow,
Is it like
Tebow.
mid tier?
Okay, so the thing is, at times Tebow is a top tier for me.
Okay.
At times,
At times.
Chipotle is usually a high tier for me.
Oh my
Usually a high tier
god.
for you because the thing is, it's like particularly for me, I think okay, so now that we're talking more about it, I think it's also how you build what you get at Chipotle. It's
Okay.
it's really, really dependent on the item that you're actually getting and the ingredients that you're actually infusing together. Because a barbacoa burrito bowl with some fajitas, and some extra sour cream and like some, some extra like romaine lettuce and a good amount of like queso and pico de gallo and guac, it's
Yeah,
gonna taste very differently from like
that is true.
a chicken like burrito where it's like it's got no fajitas. You know what I mean? It's got like a ton of white rice, some
Yeah, that
beans.
sounds
You know,
super like not.
but do you know what I mean? So it is
Yeah,
dependent.
I guess it
We
does. Yeah,
could
that is
go from
true.
this. We could go from the standpoint of also like depending. It's like let's just assume the bowls are the exact same, but you change the meats or you change like a couple of the vegetables. How do they relate? For me, I would say again the big one of the biggest like consistent factors in food for me is the quality of the food.
Mhm.
Chipotle has great quality in food. Why? Again, because it's fresh. It's
Yeah.
fresh. It's made before you. It's the same way I feel about Subway. Subway is one of those rare food places where it's like when I'm super hungover,
Mhm. When you're
and
specifically hungover.
well, yeah, I'm just using hungover as an example because when you're hungover, what that means, and like there are different forms of being hungover because it's like if you threw up a ton, your body is lacking a
Yeah.
good amount of
Yeah,
nutrients
that's
and
true.
vitamins, and like your
Is
body is
Doctor
so dehydrated.
is PhD Ergo? Is PhD Ergo?
Oh,
Doc
I don't know,
Doctor
but
Eric.
I'm just saying it's the access of ingredients that you have from all the different food groups when you go to like somewhere like Subway and Chipotle. If that's my entire stance is if you build it correctly and if these ingredients you know what I mean, like have a very very synthetic, organic and great amalgamation, it should do fantastic and wonders for your body. And like the taste should be the taste is like the surface level of it, but how you feel afterwards, if you feel that, like that life, invigoration, and then you feel that regular, organic, healthy, vital energy, it changes everything about you know what I mean, like
I
how you're going to eat. So I would put Subway up there, Chipotle up there. They're consistent high tiers. T-Bell is like
yeah.
extremely inconsistent, but like sometimes it has the highest
Yeah,
highs.
yeah.
Um, I'll have my guilty pleasure of McDonald's breakfast. I really
McDonald's
do.
is
I,
so
I
gross.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about McDonald's breakfast.
It's
You put a
so
McGriddle
gross,
in front
man.
of me. Oh my
Okay, that is
god!
fire though. McGriddles are fire, but McDonald's in general is so bad. I hate McDonald's. It makes it feel queasy.
Yeah.
I want to throw up.
give me give me a hash brown and a McGriddle.
Oh yeah, the hash browns
Woo!
are super fire though. Not gonna lie,
The
hash browns are
hash
super
browns are
fire.
absolutely fire.
They are
And,
super fire.
and one thing, McDonald's hash browns. are way better than T-bone hash browns.
I've never had T-bone hash browns. Never. Because I never like go out to eat fast food breakfast ever.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person. That sounds
No,
gross.
no, that's completely fair. And the funny thing about that too is it's like what would be interesting is like what because now I've kind of come from the standpoint of like having all these different ingredients. What would you say is like some of the best like fast food areas that you've gone to
Okay,
as well?
okay. My go-to fast food restaurant is always
Yeah.
Wendy's. I always go to Wendy's.
Wow. Okay. So
I
you're
always go to
gonna.
Wendy's.
I would love to hear the explanation why.
Dude, like okay, my favorite go-to item to get is always
Yeah.
the Baconator double. That is my
Oh.
go-to.
Okay. So why is it that though?
Dude,
Like what's the importance of the baconator?
it's just a lot of meat. I love meat. No homo, but I love
Really?
meat.
Oh, wait, but it depends. Like, what kind of meat are you into though? Like,
It's just
are
beef.
you are
It's
you
beef and
into?
bacon. It's just big ass.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's a lot. It's, big ass amount of meat. That's it.
Yeah,
And it has
yeah. No, no, that's fair.
it
That's
just
fair.
yeah. It's
And
called the baconator, dude. You can't go wrong with that. And plus, I get like a combo with the 10-piece spicy nuggets, dude. That's what I always
yeah.
get all the time. And the
Well,
medium
wait. Do you
and
get a specific like sauce with the nuggets though?
no, no, it's just like that. I just eat it like that. No sauces.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me, man. And then I get with the cherry
Well, and
coke.
you
I get the cherry
with
coke.
the
And then just
with the cherry
yeah,
coke.
with the cherry coke and also the medium fries. With the sea
Okay,
salt
no, that's
fries,
that's fair.
dude, that's my favorite. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. and
No,
then
that's completely fair.
and, I feel, so if I'm feeling extra hungry, I get a junior bacon on the side.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah,
that's completely fair too.
yeah,
It's
dude.
like yeah. What was that? I could hear you.
No, yeah, it was just that. It was just that.
No.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to. Then after that,
No, that's completely fair.
let's see. I don't really go. I usually just go to Wendy's as my fast food, as my
Okay.
preferred fast food. And then I go to like other like Asian restaurants, but they're not fast food or anything like that.
Ooh, okay. So Asian restaurants, like which ones are we talking? Are we talking like Thai places, Chinese places? Are we talking about like Vietnamese like pho places?
Yeah.
What do we?
I'm talking about like fast food, like Panda Express, like Lian Chin, like is that okay? Would you consider that as fast food?
Lian Chin?
Yeah. Cause like you
Uh,
go in, you just tell them what you want. It's like Subway, right? Like you go in, you tell them what they want or what you want,
you
and
know,
like,
you know,
come on, man.
Lian Chin is like I don't know. Lian Chin is like a little bit more on the American side for me.
That is, I mean,
So it's
wait,
you
how
know
about
what I
Panda
mean.
Express though?
It's kind of the same thing as like what is it? Panda Express and Lian Shin are similar,
Hey, I'm gonna say
where it's like
Lian
it's
Chin is way better. I'm gonna say Lian Chin is way better.
wow,
It's way better.
wow, that's interesting.
Like, cause Panda
Wait,
Express,
in what ways though?
dude, okay, like the fried rice at Panda Express is so bad. I just don't like it at all.
No,
It's so weird. It's like the weirdest taste. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Lian Chin is, feels like more like rice, like natural rice. Something about Panda Express it makes it feel like it's like plastic.
natural rice.
Natural
Okay.
rice. You like natural rice? Yeah.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, it's just I've had so many different forms of
I
rice,
guess. No, but I'm saying like
and I think they're all like natural.
no. I'm just saying like I'm just saying like Lian Chin's rice just it's edible. It's edible. I can eat it.
Yeah.
Panda Express is is like plastic. Panda Express is plastic.
It's funny that you bring that up because I think a lot of like particularly an example Lian Chin and Panda Express, they're more like the Americanized, westernized versions of Chinese food places,
Okay.
Chinese cuisine. So to me, the rice always kind of tastes a
Just
little
bad.
bland.
Yeah.
It's
Bland.
kind of it's
Oh.
kind of just
You know what?
there.
You know what's weird? That's like the exact same situation with you and me. Like me with Chipotle and you with like that. That's isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy?
A little bit, a little bit. And you know what? I think that might be because we're coming from an potentially an authentic side
Yeah. That's
of
so weird.
our own like respective
That's
cuisines. You know what I
crazy.
mean?
That's crazy.
That's actually super
That
interesting.
is super interesting. What? What? It's the exact same situation. That's why. You know what? This is. You just said.
We just
Yeah,
got
yeah. I'm
mind
like,
blown.
wait. This is the exact same situation. I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying how Chipotle is bland. You're saying how like those Asian restaurants are bland. I'm like, oh my god, this is the exact same situation.
yeah.
Now we get each other's pain. We get each other's pain.
Well,
No, but
hey, speaking of different races, though, it's like,
races.
well, I mean, not different
Oh,
like different races, but like different ethnicities,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
different like upbringings. I actually wanted to ask you, like, how you feel about the entire Black Lives Matter movement.
Hey, come on, man.
Like, yeah, yeah. What do you think about that? And like, isn't that,
Okay, okay,
what do you
okay.
think
It's
about it?
crazy, but I mean, I don't want to get into politics. You know what I mean? But
You think it's politics?
I mean, it kind of is, right? I mean, like, it's politics, but it's like also like I don't know. I feel like it's just controversial, but I mean, okay. So I'm all for Black Lives Matter, right? I'm all for Black Lives Matter. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I'm all for Black Lives Matter.
Wow.
I just, yeah. I just don't like getting into like those problematic type conversations, especially like on this platform. But if it's like in private and things like that, I'm super down to always talk about that.
Well, it's interesting because it's like I think to to be privileged to have a platform like this,
Mhm.
I think it's great to be able to share like what you think about it, especially because you said that you want to like share it only in private
Yeah.
places, which is completely respectable.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's really really important to like just let other people know how you feel about it. Like again, this is like just
Yeah.
if you don't feel comfortable talking about
Yeah.
it, there isn't a need to like push it out of you. But like I think it's it's important for everyone to like we're in a time right now where we need to hear what everyone thinks.
Okay.
Not necessarily like we need to cater to everyone or we need to like give everyone like all our attention in the world and try to please everyone. That's too much work and that's unrealistic to ask. But
Mhm.
I think it's important to let everyone know how you feel about it and potentially like where you could try to understand more. I think that's where a lot of problems are coming in with society nowadays. Me personally, I am a fan of the protests. I am
Yeah.
not a fan of the riots.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, obviously, I don't think like burning or like damaged buildings or businesses are more valuable than any lives. You know what I mean? It's like no, not at all. That doesn't make any sense to me because I
Mhm.
think a person's life is quite in. You know what I mean? It's like it's quite invaluable.
Mhm.
There's no like there's no monetary value or like any kind of a physical value that you can put on someone's life. But at the same time, it's like it's so sad to see things come to this point where people are so hard to come to not even an agreement. Like even coming to an agreement or coming to a compromise
Mhm.
is almost impossible to ask for. It's like what everyone wants. It's what we're all searching for, what we're all working and striving towards.
Mhm.
But coming to that is I don't think it's unrealistic, but it's very hard. It's extremely challenging. And I think I was going to bring up Antifa because I just heard about Antifa like a couple of days ago, and I know they've been going on for a while.
Mhm.
Do you know much about Antifa?
No, I actually don't know like a lot about politics. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, you know what?
You,
Hey,
you just stay out of it.
yeah, I usually just like stay out of it. But can you
I kind of
like
envy that though.
can you explain what it is?
I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to be the best source for it. But apparently, Antifa is an organization that like wants to secede from the nation. Like they don't want to be a part of America. I might have this wrong, but like they have they're like an anti like fascist group that does not want to be a part of the nation. And I bring it up because I heard this um,
Wait, so wait.
about Seattle. I heard this about Seattle, and like they have like some sort of like 6 to 7 block
I think
radius
I heard
of
about
a
this.
neighborhood
Yeah.
or some sort of community there that like it's just like they don't follow the
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 American legal
American
system.
government rules and stuff. I actually do you remember Amanda Ame?
Wait, yeah, I think. Yeah.
I asked her about it because she's living in Seattle now.
Oh, okay.
She moved there like last year. I
Wait,
asked her about it.
is she the
She
Sheik
hasn't
player?
gotten back to me.
I'm done. Is she the Sheik player?
She was a Sheik player. I really think she does not like play Smash at all anymore.
Yeah.
But I was trying to ask her about it because I was genuinely curious, like what's going on in Seattle.
Yeah.
I know you know Darth Shard. Darth
Yeah.
Shard, Alex. He moved to Portland like maybe 2 or 3 years, probably about 3 or 4 years ago actually now. But
Mm.
he lives in Portland, and that's only about 3 hours, south of Seattle. And I have, obviously friends out there, and I care about them. But at the same time, I generally like want to know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I see what you
In
mean.
light of like all the events that have been happening with the protests and the riots, and you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So but I guess to conclude, from this topic is like I think it's really funny that you're like nope, I don't want to listen to any.
Nah,
I don't want to.
I
I'm
mean,
not going to expose myself.
no. It's not more so that. It's more so just about like I want this to be a strictly entertainment podcast. You know what I mean?
No, that's real. No,
Yeah,
that's completely real.
yeah. It's not that I don't support Black Lives Matter and something like that. I do support Black Lives Matter. I just want this to be a more entertainment podcast.
Yeah,
Make
I
people
think it'll be
smile.
entertaining nonetheless, man. I think it's interesting to always hear your opinion,
That is
and you got
true.
to know it's got to go. It's got to it's appreciated
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
share your opinion. You know.
Actually, I think okay, like I think it's cool how like we can learn from each other. You know how like one time we
Yeah.
learned how like we were talking about how we could learn from maybe introduce things to like to each other like you know what I mean? How you're kind of like
Yeah.
teaching me or just telling me about these things and things I didn't know. So yeah, it's something to learn, which is cool. Cool to learn about. But yeah.
And I think it's interesting too because it's so like we'll you know I wanted to bring up like different ethnicities and stuff because I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook with about interracial dating,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I always thought interracial dating was an extremely interesting part of society that doesn't get much like light shed onto it. And I'm not trying to say that we need more of it. I certainly do think that, but I'm not trying to like go out of my way to promote that. Even though I think it's something that could be positive for society.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what do you think about interracial relationships?
Interracial relationships, yeah, it's something that I don't mind. I don't really care if like people date a mixed race. I actually don't really care about that. I mean, it's not like really none of my business. I don't really care. Just live your life. I don't really care. As for me, I don't like. I mean, if I marry like a white girl, I'm not, or like any other girl, I'm like, all right, whatever. But I prefer to marry a Mexican girl. That's what I prefer. I prefer
Ooh,
to marry a Mexican girl.
not even a Latina girl, a Mexican
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. I
Wow,
mean,
wow,
A
wow.
Latina girl too. I mean, I don't mind, but as long as she's like Latina. But I'd be like more happy if she was Mexican, just 'cause we share the exact, the same upbringing, the same kind of customs that we kind of know how we grew up, things like that. We just know more about how we live. Yeah.
That's so interesting that you say that. I've had so many like Hmong elders say
Mhm.
to me that like when you're older you want to marry a Hmong girl because she will understand your people, she will understand your culture, she will understand your life.
Exactly.
And it's not that I don't have anything against that, but I've always been one to be like, well, to be honest with you, I want someone that's like kind of different from me and someone
Okay.
that's had a different
Upbringing.
upbringing and background than me, so that like when we like do meet and when we do like start a life together or whatever, and we do like raise a family or something, I want our different experiences to come together, to culminate in something that can be, that can go beyond our own identities,
That's
that can
crazy.
encompass both worlds, but at the same time evolve from that.
That's crazy.
And so I had this extremely interesting roommate when I was living in St. Louis.
Yeah.
His name is Chris. This guy
Uh-huh.
was like 10 years older than I am. He's Irish,
Mhm.
and
Wait, so
he's kind of a so he came from like the rural area of Missouri,
mhm.
and he always like described himself as kind of like an Irish redneck.
An
But he
Irish
was
redneck.
extremely interesting because this guy was like a science whiz, but
What?
he's like a complete science like whiz, and he's just ungodly smart at science and
Uh-huh.
reading and learning about different things. But at the same time, he's a huge alpha male,
And a huge
and
alpha male.
he's a huge alpha male, and he loved starting fights. He's an aggressive
Really?
guy. He's got an abrasive personality. Again, very, very aggressive and forward, blunt. But at the same time, he's also a veteran, and so
Dang.
he's got all these different combinations of different environments, upbringings, different lessons that have taught him, like just have culminated him into like this person that has so many different, he's been
Areas?
exposed to so many different things, and he's had
Yeah.
so many different experiences, like turn him into like this one person. It's extremely interesting if you ever meet people like that,
That's
and
crazy.
his 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 thesis for human evolution was that everyone, like, he believes the entire world should mix breeds, I guess,
Mhm.
in better words, to have to promote interracial relationships so that every single, like, the whole human race not necessarily can become one, but we
Yeah.
can learn to understand each other more and have all these different experiences around us and different upbringings and different backgrounds, not just be present and be in society, but to intermerse with each other. So like they
Mhm.
can interwove with each other, they can mix with each other, and we're not just going to be so much more. Oh, that's interesting that you're from here. We're going to be more interested in learning about different cultures and trying to understand it and trying to have other people understand it. We're not going to push it in each other's face, but it'll be a much more of a natural process where everyone can come to understand each other. That was his
Mhm.
thesis on. He didn't like write a thesis, but like this is like his like mental
Yeah,
thesis
yeah, yeah.
for humans coming together.
Dude, you know
And
what's
I always thought that was so interesting because
that is
he
interesting.
could be right.
But you know what's weird, right? Okay, so like I do imagine like the world moving forward as being more like mixed race, right? That's what I imagine.
You know,
That's what I imagine like maybe the U.S. to be, the U.S. to be more interracial, throughout the years.
yeah.
But I also feel like how people say history repeats itself.
Oof, oof. That's a rough reality.
So I'm thinking like there's gonna be like a not like a race war, but like
Yeah,
some people saying, oh, like um light skins are better than dark skins. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like
yeah,
could happen. And like like the world's, I mean, the US is gonna be more unified, but like I feel like it's gonna be I don't know. It's I feel like there's gonna be like something like that, like how history repeats itself. Not like the super extreme racism stuff, but maybe like maybe like what we're living today. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
But
It's honestly it's rough to think about like all these different like things going on. To be honest with you, it's like, man, I always find it interesting. So talking about like all these different like races and ethnicities. So particularly for me, a great upbringing that I thought I had, and I still think to this day, is that like a really close friend group of mine from like through middle school and high school
mhm.
was that we were a really diverse group,
Okay.
and it wasn't really like that wasn't very common from
Mhm.
what I saw at school.
Okay.
Like I remember there were like
So what
a
did it
good
consist
amount
of?
of us that were like kind of a part of like different cultures, different religions, different like ethnicities and races and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think it's interesting because I still kind of have a group like that. Not even
Yeah.
just a group, like a lot of my close friend groups
Yeah.
are actually very similar to that. And one particular group I wanted to bring up now that it's coming to my mind, and I'm thinking
Mhm.
about this, is like when I hang out with Deepak and Karma
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
another
Yeah.
friend of our Ryan's, and like, and so the thing is, it's really cool because I think it's really cool that we're taking it to the next step because so Deepak's Indian, I'm
Yeah.
Hmong. Josh is like Josh and Ryan are both white, but Ryan's Jewish
Mhm.
and I think slightly Irish, and Josh is Latvian or
Latvian?
I yeah Latvian. I can't remember correctly. Ryan is also like either Latvian or something like that. But we just all have different, really different backgrounds, and the type of cuisine that we cook
Oh yeah, your
is
Snapchat
like
stories.
is extreme. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a big Snapchatter for all that.
Yeah.
But but the thing is, it's extremely interesting because it's like we'll cook curry, we'll cook like
Yeah,
Japanese like
burgers.
dishes, we'll cook like amazing American burgers. I remember this one time Ryan made this like crazy good beef stroganoff, which is Russian, I
Yeah,
believe, like the origin of it. And so it's like it's extremely interesting because we're cooking all these different cuisines,
that's sick.
but at the same time, I think it's a part of my upbringing that was transferred over into the next stage of my life,
That's crazy.
which is like now that now I'm not even just involved in an ethnic group or an ethnically diverse group, but we're also doing ethnically diverse activities,
Mhm.
which is like nuts to think about.
Yeah.
Like I would have never
That
thought
is
about
crazy.
that, but thinking about all these like the differences that are happening right now, all these small little things, it's like it's hard to like take a live in the moment and really think about what I'm able to appreciate around me.
Yeah, that
I
is
don't. Do you have experiences like that?
are you talking about like in a diverse group? Like growing up with a
Yeah.
diverse group? Actually I don't think so. Like growing up I didn't really like really hang out with people or like go out or really have a I guess a friend group to go to. I never really grew up like that. Um yeah, yeah, that's what I want to say.
How do you feel about the Smash group?
The Smash.
I
Okay,
mean
okay, yeah.
that
Actually, the Smash group is like probably like like the group that it's probably like the friend group that I go to the most, right? Like it's like full of diverse people. We have like a lot of people from
yeah.
different backgrounds. From like we have Asian, Indian, black, white, Hispanic, like everything, right? That's what Minnesota
Asian
consists
and
of.
then Indian. I love it.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Asian then Indian.
No, no. Well, you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. No, but yeah, like every time I go out, like it's like it's cool. Like it's not necessarily about like
Yeah.
learning about like where they come from, but it's more so just like um just not judging them, based on like where they come from. That's just me. I don't like judging people like based from the skin color where they come from like that. I just like I like getting to know people, and if you're cool, you're cool, and that's all that matters for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is like the fact that you said that like you don't like judging people is like I think it's so interesting that like there's so many people that judge other people that they don't even see it,
Yeah.
and it's like I almost want to say it's like
Ignorant.
it's an unfortunate ignorance to have,
Yeah.
not being socially aware
Of what's going
and
on.
like mentally aware of that. It's so when I come across people like that, it's so draining because it's like I'm always there to give people a chance, and I always want to talk
Yeah.
through it and stuff. But it's like when there are repeated actions of such like assumed, you know what I mean, like actions and assumed like, oh, because this guy's this, he's like doing that. It's like you can
Yeah.
take that to a certain point, but you can't base off the entire thing from it. And so I've like had people block me from like Facebook even,
Really?
and like I'm not even I'm not even doing anything wrong. I'm in their eyes, I'm doing something wrong. But
Yeah. Yeah.
particularly for me, I'm like, I want to hear what the other person says.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm genuinely
Curious.
interested
Yeah.
in listening and learning from what this person thinks or this person understands or their background or upbringing. And I want to understand I want to hear what they're saying. I want to open my ears to them. And then other people will be like, wow, Eric, you're like perpetuating this, or like, oh, you want to listen to what they're saying, so you are probably a fan of it. And it's like,
I know.
why are
Yeah, it
you
doesn't make
judging?
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, why are you judging me on my action to try
understand
to
more.
further understand it? It's like
Yeah,
I'm not even like pushing people to be like, I'm not pushing people to be like, let me know. I want to know. I want to
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I'm not even pushing them to share. I'm just saying,
yeah,
well, I'm genuinely curious. If you want to share, please feel free to. Just, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put that kind of pressure on you. I'm not trying to be that person. I don't want to be a bad influence. I genuinely just want to listen.
yeah.
If you
That
want to
is
share, that's
me.
great. If you don't,
That
that's
is
cool.
me. Yeah, that is me. You know how like okay, like sometimes okay, I'm the person who like would ask questions like, "Hey, can you explain more?" things like that, or like, "What does this mean?" And but people are like they look at me dumb as if like I don't know, like they just look at me dumb, but I'm like it's more so just me trying to understand like
Yeah.
what they're coming from, like what are they trying to say, and it's more so like let's see, what was I gonna say? Um, never mind. Yeah, I went blank. I went blank.
Well,
But yeah,
to be honest with you, I will say this: never stop being yourself.
yeah, exactly.
I think it's smart to never stop being yourself, but you need to be aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know you. I would say I know you relatively well. You
Mhm.
know, and I know that you have a curious mind.
I do.
A lot of
Yeah.
people have curious minds, and they believe they do, but their actions show otherwise. I
Mhm.
think it's extremely interesting for the people that like are always like, Eric, you're judging this, or Eric, you're judging that, and I'm like, I'm not judging. I'm trying to promote this, and it's like, why don't you try to promote this, Eric? And I'm like, are you looking at what the actions you're taking right now? You're forcing me into trying to do something. You're forcing your opinions. You're forcing all this stuff on me. You're not allowing me to think. You're not giving me material to build off of, or to learn, or to grow from. You're giving me material because that's what you want. You want another person to share your views.
Mhm.
And it's just like, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, are you paying attention to your actions that you're doing right now?
Yeah.
It's like you're judging me because it seems like I'm judging someone else. It's like,
Mhm.
that's terrible.
Dude.
That's a step back for
Yeah.
the human race.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fail to realize that. They believe what they're doing is fantastic. They believe they are the best person they can be. They believe they are working towards the best version of themselves. But you got to be able to pay attention to what you're doing. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of people lack that self awareness. You know,
Mhm.
it's unfortunate, but I want that. This is why I think this podcast is important.
Yeah. It's about being
Because
homies and getting to know.
it allows you to be a homie. It allows you
Yeah. It
to
is.
not just reflect on yourself, but be like, let's enjoy our, you know what I mean, our time, our people, and like
Exactly.
our surroundings. Why are we trying to push all these ideals on other people? But it's just like, no, we're just chilling, and I think it's also great for us to just talk about these things and
Yeah.
verbalize these things.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not trying to push my opinions onto you. I'm just sharing them with you.
Mhm.
And it's like
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the podcast world, of the podcast
Yeah.
era, is that you can just listen to people and you can just hear what people are thinking, and not necessarily be so pressured or oppressed by what people are trying to push onto you.
Mm.
Um, I think it's interesting because I remember I made like a friend of mine before. I made a joke of like, oh, like I ate like two pieces of pies. I had like two slices of like this like crazy great like banana cream pie, and I felt real bad after that. And I joked about that with her, and she's like, oh, I'm not that's cool and everything, Eric, but I'm not a fan of fat shaming. And I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't fat shaming. I was saying like I was just being unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like I was just not choosing the healthier option.
Yeah.
And she was like, are you saying fat people are like not healthy?
Oh
And I was
my.
like, to be honest with you, yeah, like, if you're fat, you're not
Yeah,
healthy.
you're not healthy.
Like this is like scientifically accurate. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Again, I'm not like shaming people that are fat. It's if you're fat, it's like whatever. That's cool. That's great that you are. But like I'm just saying like you know what I mean. I was doing something unhealthy, and
Yeah.
she just could not
I
comprehend
know. I
that. She
don't
was
get
like,
that. Like some people are
that's
like
so
that.
bad. she's like, you're making fun of fat people. I'm like, no. I'm like, I was literally making fun of myself. I wasn't even making fun of myself, actually. I was simply commenting on the fact that, like, I chose an unhealthy option.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not shaming that. I'm just not proud of it. And she was like, yeah, that's so mean. And she's like, you're a mean person. And I'm like,
Okay.
why am I mean? She's like, you're essentially calling fat people unhealthy. And I'm like,
They
is that
are
scientifically
unhealthy.
like incorrect? Like, I want people to feel like they're not being targeted by me,
Yeah.
or like if I say something factual, don't take it personally. Don't take it in the wrong
Yeah,
way. I'm
exactly.
simply stating a fact, and I don't have any kind of ulterior motive to put you down so that I feel great. You know what I mean? Or like I'm not trying to like put anyone down. I'm simply stating a fact, and the
And
fact
dude,
that she came at me
dude,
with that, I was like,
and plus, cause like,
what?
dude, it's funny because like you were talking about yourself too. Like you were talking about a decision
Well,
you made on yourself,
yeah,
and like
yeah, no,
she's
no,
like,
that's true.
she
That's
turned it
true. But like
around.
I can see her ideals were strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is great. Your ideals should be strong. I think
Hmm.
having strong ideals really can define and build you as a person, and strengthen your personality, which is great. You do you. But I don't I don't like I'm not a fan of like hearing people like say lies.
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
just like they're not, it's not true. It's like
You're just turning
if you're a little
words
bit
around.
bigger, if you're a little bit fatter, that's to be honest with you, that's on the unhealthier side,
Yeah,
and it's just like I'm I don't want to be the messenger of bad news, but it is what it is,
yeah.
and I'm not trying to like shove it down your throat. I'm not trying to push it in your face. I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just saying this is simply a truth. This is a fact,
Yeah,
and that's all there was to it.
that is true. I
But it
agree
was like
too.
blown out of proportion. It was like, holy hell! Like, how did this like become a tornado? It was like we were in a meadow with green grass. The sun was out, and then all of a sudden, like
Negativity just
two
came.
minutes later, there are like three tornadoes that became one huge twister.
Wow.
It's just like what happened?
That's funny. Hey, speaking of oh never mind, I couldn't even think of a transition. But anyways, did you hear about the PS5?
All I know about it is there are two versions: one that looks like a router and one that looks like a box. That's
Nice.
all I
The
know
box is the
from
one
it.
that's Xbox.
Oh, oh man, maybe I don't know.
Come on, man. Hey, man.
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed. Hey, your age is showing, dude.
Hey, give it to me, man. I mean,
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, all I'm saying is that I'm gonna get the PS5. I want to play Spider-Man, Miles Morales. That's the game I want to play the most. That's my
Ooh, I've
anticipated
not
game.
watched into the like the
Into
what
Spider-Verse?
Spideyverse.
Yeah, Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That movie's actually really, really
Hey,
good.
oh yeah,
It's
I've
so
been
good.
told. But you were saying about the PS5, like what Tell me something like the specs, like what
I
it
don't.
looks like. How
Okay.
much is it gonna be?
Oh yeah. So there's no price. I don't know anything about specs, nothing like that. None of that like tech talk. I'm really bad at that. All I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay. The only thing that matters for me are the games. That's it. The games that are gonna come out.
Mm.
Spider-Man. There's gonna be like other games like the cat game. You could be a cat.
The cat
You could be
game?
a
What's the
cat,
cat
dude.
game?
What?
What's the cat game?
I don't know. It was a teaser about this cat. Just like walking around robots. And that's it. That was
It
it.
is Chin Chin?
Yeah, he's just walking like it just like said cat the game, cat the PS5
Oh my
game.
god.
Let's see, like what else? Okay, there's Spider-Man. What else? I know like
Wait, you
there's like
said
a
there
lot of
was an Xbox, right?
yeah, the Xbox Series X. I'm not gonna get that.
What are some of the games? What are some of the games that are coming out in that?
Just Halo. That's it. Just Halo Infinite. That's it. There's nothing else.
Hey, when are these systems coming out?
It's coming out this year, holiday 2020. Yeah,
Really?
dude, I'm gonna get the PS5 for sure. Yeah,
Juicy.
but the first thing I have to do, is get a girlfriend and tell her to buy me the PS5.
The girlfriend supplying the games
Yeah,
money,
dude.
dude.
Hell yeah, dude. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's all about the hustle, right?
Hey, you're not the first guy that I heard say that.
Yeah, yeah. Because everyone's talking about that. It's like a meme and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of funny. But
Well, do you play a lot of games right now,
actually,
like besides Smash?
no, actually, no. I just play Smash. That's it.
Dude, me too. I'm on the same grind as you,
No,
man.
but okay,
I'm on the same grind.
for me, it kind of gets boring because I want to stream some like different games. Like I want to play like a variety of games. So like earlier I was playing poker, I was playing roulette, I was playing
Yeah.
just like those type of games. I'm trying to get like a good audience just to see my reactions or whatever. But lately, like
Yeah.
since I don't really get a lot of viewers, I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of like standing there without chat and like no one's talking. So I'm like, how can I make this entertaining so people could come into my stream? So that's why I make YouTube videos, so people could come.
But haven't you been making YouTube videos for a while?
Huh?
Haven't you been making YouTube videos for a while? For like, or I know you've been making several years, right?
I used to upload like back then, but now I'm starting to get back into it. Just
Mm.
making highlights of like the best moments, just like funniest moments that happened to me while I play, and I just upload them on my YouTube channel. And hopefully,
Hey, oh, what was that?
no, you can go.
Besides increasing your viewership for like, just your videos and stuff, what's another reason as to like why you're coming back into the video game or the video scene, like coming up with more videos now?
I don't know, just I've had like ideas of like to make content for YouTube. I want to make some like story time YouTube videos and like make them like animated and just like really badly animated though. That's it. Like on purpose.
The cult ones,
Yeah. What?
like the cult ones, not like a cult, but
Just like badly
like the indie
animated.
the indie type ones.
I guess yeah. Like just really badly animated. Like just like me like telling a story and yeah, like really bad visuals. But yeah, like a 6 year old
It's
drawing it.
it's so funny you say that because I'm a big fan of listening to like really scary stories.
Oh
I think
yeah.
I've told you that before. And it's like I'll watch a lot of them where it's like they just
Yeah.
have bad. It's usually like a great narrator, like reading the story over, and it's just got like, and a lot of the animated ones I've seen, it just have like funny and like poor like editing, but like they do it more of like to keep it on the indie tone, so it's not
Yeah.
like super like overproduced, and they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have like
yeah.
a crazy crew and like crazy effects, but they just do it more so along the lines of like so it's a little bit more raw, a little bit
Yeah.
more, you know what I mean, like genuine, a little bit like less quality, just because they want to again increase like the rawness of the film and the movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It sounds like you're like interested in doing something similar.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Just make
You
it
know,
dumb. I just want to make it as dumb as possible. That's it.
I mean, do you have a lot of time to like do videos and edit videos and stuff?
Not a lot because I have work and then I have to like I'm trying to do streaming and YouTube and it takes a lot of my time, so I don't really have a lot of you know time on my hands to actually do a lot of things that I want to do. But
Hey, yeah, what was that?
as long as I'm making my money at work, I'm good. That's all that matters right now. I need to save up for college and maybe even get better equipment. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, but then if you're like so busy, especially with like work, how are you gonna make time for a new girl?
Hey, I don't know, man. Actually, that you do have a point. You do have a point. I
What
have,
a conundrum.
yeah, that is true. I have no idea. That you do have a point, man.
Hey, you have no idea, but if you meet a girl, she will have the strongest idea. Because she will want to hang out with you. She will want to talk with you. She will want Lil Homie all to herself. You know
Lil
what I mean?
Poppy. Lil Poppy, dude.
You gotta keep it real, man. That's
Yeah,
real.
gotta keep that real, man. Gotta keep that real. All
Yeah,
right.
but if you don't have time for yourself, how are you gonna make time for her?
I don't
What's
know,
going on
man.
here?
You know what? That's something I never thought about, but
Wow,
I'm just
it's
gonna wing it.
crazy.
Just wing it, right?
That's real.
Just swing it, dude.
Ring it, swing it, and try wing it.
Hell yeah, dude. All right.
That's like the controller, man.
All right. So these are the viewer submitted questions that we have that we got from Twitter threads, and most
Mm.
of them are actually for you, Ergo. So most of them are actually
Oh,
for you. So
oh, sorry.
this is so the top five smoke venues. Oh wait, the top five smoke spots at venues by ATM. The one and only ATM.
Hmm.
Top five smoke spots at venues.
Top five. That's hard. Maybe give like a couple. You
Okay.
know. One I really liked was the hole. The
Oh,
whole one, it was just right there, and they had
yeah.
like an ashtray there too. I think it was the same one where like some people were caught smoking weed
Oh
there, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
wisely like blew up at that.
yeah,
I think we had talked about that last
yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
but
We did.
but that actually that spot was one of the best spots again because they had like an ashtray there. Everything was figured out. It was okay to be. It was great to be there. It was, and that's actually where I met so many different people. I met Benji there, and I became
Benji.
really good friends
Benji's
with
really cool.
Benji
I
over
miss
the
him.
years. Benji, yeah, I miss Benji a lot too. We've actually been trying to plan to like hang out soon, so I'm extremely excited about that because we haven't hung out in like I want to say like
Forever.
maybe a year or something.
Yeah.
But that was a great place. Again, because it was super close. It was super close. It was open. A lot of people would always go there, and just because it was like, man, it was like maybe like 20 feet, away from the door at the main like front door to the whole room.
Yeah, yeah.
Another spot would be the place in another spot is the place in like right where 3035W and like Industrial Boulevard was. I think it was the first time that the Ramada
Lormont. Oh yeah. The
the
Ramada.
Ram- it's yeah it's not the one that was in like St. Louis Park Golden Valley area right off like 394 and 100.
Hmm.
It was the one that was like near 35W and like Industrial or Stinson Boulevard. It was like right by the Como area. That one was great because so the venue like you had the venue like just like right in front. You had the venue and then the hall. There was a huge hallway that connected the venue to like two doors that you could go outside in both, and they both had great smoke spots. The one on the one that was just like a teeny bit further, you could see the door to door. Like you could, you know what I mean? It was like a small corridor that would take like maybe like 20 to 30 steps max from the main door of the venue to the outside smoke area. They always had great tables there, and I have fantastic memories being there because we would always go to the bar, get drinks, and then we would also smoke there, and then we would go play our matches or like watch, like, you know what I mean, like top eight or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That smoke spot at that venue was absolutely phenomenal. I missed that spot a ton. I think one great one was the goat.
The goat.
The goat was fantastic,
Yeah.
and the goat was a great one because it was like behind the building. You knew the homies were like, you know what I mean. You knew the homies were hanging out back there, and God, that was great. Um, I remember smoking like 4 or 5 blunts with Trill at
Damn.
one like U of M tourney where we were smoking in either my car or his car,
Yeah.
and like we just oh my God, we got so destroyed that tournament. And like I don't even remember who I played that tournament, but like we
Really? You
were
don't even remember? That's how.
yeah we were like destroyed.
These.
We were bamboozled, man.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, that would be some of
The
like the
best
more
ones.
memorable smoke spots. You
All
know.
right. So here's another question, right? This is another question for you. Coming from Trill AF. He's telling me to tell you. I mean, he's suggesting you to tell the Ergo versus Vector Falco Ditto story.
Ergo versus Beckler Falco Ditto story.
I have no idea
Oh
what that is.
man,
What
I miss
happened?
Beckler. Um, Sorry about that.
Damn.
I don't know if you hear that, but so Vecler, man, a lot of the new school kids don't know Vecler.
That's
I
weird,
feel
huh?
so bad about that because Ryan's a badass Falco. His Falco was like he was the first postdoc new school Falco in Minnesota
I
that like
guess.
reigned supreme as a Falco player.
I guess.
I think you were right after him, Isaac,
Yeah, yeah. I
or
agree.
you
I
were
agree.
like during the same time, but like he rose to prominence first.
That's true.
Um, and so Falco did a story with Beckler. So Ryan and I actually played a ton together. His name is Ryan, by the way,
Hmm.
Beckler. He had the most badass fests. Like
Really?
every single one of us would be drinking there, we would be smoking there.
That's
Like
sick.
he had like the best fest. Like back in like 2014 to like 2015, he had some of the greatest fests of all time in Minnesota history.
Dang.
I can comfortably say that, even though I only started in 2013, 2014.
Mhm.
But Ryan and I played a ton. And so
Dang.
Ryan, a Falco player, I'm a Falcon player. A lot of the reason why I picked up Falco was to fight against Ryan.
Oh dang.
And I don't tell people that story a bunch, but the thing is, I eventually fell in love with Falco, and
Yeah.
I actually think I surpassed him as a Falco player too.
Damn. Why? Why is that? Why is
but
that?
the thing is, it's because Ryan stopped playing.
I
His
guess
hands
it's true.
started hurting, so it's like I don't blame him. Honestly, I think he could still like destroy a ton of people if he was to play today.
I agree.
But the reason why the Falco Ditto story I think Trill was bringing up was there were a couple times that I've played Ryan's Falco with my Falco, and again, a lot of it came from like he knew how I played, and like he always just like stuffed me with lasers and up tilts because it's like I'm
Oh
always
my.
just like aerial. You know, I'm like an aerial
Yeah.
based Falcon, or like sometimes I can get into my dash dance. You know, heavy movements too at times. But like Ryan was really good at countering my style, and I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm like, I'm done. It's like if you're gonna like laser me and up tilt me like this, I love Falco. I also want to try this against a lot of Falco players. And playing against Ryan, I realized that a lot of Falco players don't like the Ditto. And the reason why is because a lot of their tools that they're abusing against everyone,
Gets countered.
they don't like being abused on them. You know?
Exactly.
And
It's
yeah, and
annoying.
so and the thing was, it was like, but I'm like, for me in particular, I'm someone that like loves that. I am someone that like, okay, give my opponent and I the same tools to work with. I'd prefer that much more so than having a disadvantage. Not trying to come from like a Falcon biased perspective, but that's really what it is. So it's like if I am Falco and if you're Falco, let's duke it out. To me, this is more of a mind actual, like, you know what I mean, like a mind game. We're going to use our wits, we're going to use our mind games, we're going to use our tricks. He had better trick skill than I did, but I felt so. So the thing is, it's funny. It's funny because like the Falco diddles with Ryan was always funny because his Falco is so like good at being extremely technically sound while he's stationary.
Yeah.
Vector's Falco is like super good, and he's like frame perfect with everything he
It's
does
so annoying,
when
dude.
he's
That's the
got his
part that
own.
annoys me so
When,
much.
when he, yeah. I remember you guys had your guys' duels, but
Yeah.
Ryan is like almost frame perfect with everything he does in his own little zone.
Yeah.
Me being a Falcon player, I love like jumping all over the place. You know what I mean? And like moving everywhere. So my Falco was always more of a movement heavy Falco. And so the thing is, when our Falcos would duel, my Falco would always kind of get the upper hand on the movement. But the moment Ryan, like Veckler, got a combo,
It
like
was so annoying.
he got it started. You know what I mean? He got it going. So the thing is, it was up to me to like kind of outmaneuver and beat him around and stuff like that. I think like Trill would bring up this story is because one time I think I like reverse 3-0'd Veckler.
Yeah. Wait, wait, an attorney?
Attorney at attorney, and it was
Wow.
in Falco Dittos, and like it's funny because I think it was like that happened, and Ryan was just like super sad about it, and then I played you, and you like completely 3-0'd me
Really?
in the Falco Ditto.
Wow.
because it's like you're obviously a very movement based Falco as
I
well.
am. I
You
am a
know,
movement based Falcon, right?
and the thing is, I think your Falco is a lot more grab heavy than a lot
It
of
is
other
it is
Falcos.
super grab heavy. Yeah, it
So
is.
I'll be honest, because of that, I kind of see your Falco as like more of like a chic S Falco.
Lame. Like
Like
that's
you,
lame.
well, it's like you get crazy combos, but you get started off with chic. So if you can
Yeah,
imagine,
with
it's like
grabs.
it's like a plump Falco if a
Okay.
plump Falco
That's
existed.
cool. That's sick.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you got the Latino swag like Mango. You know what
Hey.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You got that like that rich, fierce Mexican blood to like make you want to swag and move and dance.
Hey, you know what's funny,
Like
right?
bailando,
You Oh my
bailando.
god. No, but you know what's funny, right? It's like okay, so like it's not like I'm forcing to be flashy. That's just who I am.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. It just comes out
Dude, that's
naturally.
exactly how. that's exactly how I've always felt when I play. And
Yeah.
like I always get so sad when people are like, "Oh, you're sandbagging." And it's
I know
like
it's so dumb.
I just don't think to do that option. Like after I do it, and I'm like, "Oh, I should have just up through knee." Like screw it. Why did I do this? And
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, you're sandbagging." And it's like, dude, I really didn't like. I just like didn't enter my mind until like a second later, like after
What?
I committed to it already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like one of like the I guess the negatives about your playstyle, I guess. Like you don't really like if there's like an option right there that's like that's an easy kill. You don't. I feel like sometimes you don't take
Yeah.
it. Like your mind just like kind of just like says the other thing.
It's because I feel like I do I play so I'm not gonna lie, I play so honestly. Like a lot of people don't play honestly. Like I play so honestly, so it's like it's hard to like try to do these options over and over because it's like I'm not thinking about these options. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because it's like I don't let that affect me,
Hmm.
but I really that you're right because it can become negative at times because it's like I'm not doing everything like super simple and doing this, but like I'm always trying to optimize stuff. So the thing is, it's like I know with Falco, I'll particularly go for like when they're like maybe over 100 or something, I'll go for a laser hit to confirm to a kill. And
Hmm.
people are like, "Why are you lasering there?" And I'm like, "Dude, I want to laser you to stun you so that I can hit you here." Like that's
Yeah.
where my mind goes. But
Yeah.
like a lot of people are like, "You're an idiot. You should just like bear there." I'm like, "Oh, I just like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I don't know, man."
All right. So this final question comes from Musai, right? He says he says, "Can you ask Ergo if he remembers the time I threw up in his car?"
Oh my god. God damn it, Darren. It's like happened like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Um, I think it was like 2 years ago. It might have been like a July 4th party that Slayer that Logan had at his house,
Really? He had a party?
and oh, it wasn't like a party party. It was like a smash fest, but like we were all like a lot of us were like destroyed.
Wait. So when was this? When was
I
this?
remember, man, I was like so chopped and drunk that at that fest.
So
I think
when?
Darren was like destroyed. Like he was extremely intoxicated. And
Really?
dude, I remember like Darren, he like dropped like two or like three glasses, like solid like cups, like glasses. There were glasses, and he dropped them, and Logan was like, whatever. Logan, he was just like high man, but he was like, whatever, screw it, man. But like Darren was, man, Darren looked like Darren looked like a girl in like a 19-year-old drunk girl in Vegas or something.
Really? Like what? Like what was he doing?
like he was just gone. Like he was so far destroyed drunk to the point where he was just like sloppy and clumsy and like he lost coordination, which like you know what I mean? Like I don't blame him. Like if you get drunk, it's gonna be like that. You know, if you get pissed off drunk. And I think a few of us there too were like like drinking really hard. I knew I sobered up later by the end of the night, so I was able to drive.
Yeah.
But I remember I had to take Darren home,
Hmm.
and 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 like Darren was so like man, Darren was so destroyed. Like dude, he was like laying back on my passenger seat, and he was just like knocked out. And I was like, dude, or he was like trying to knock out, but he's like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I
Uh.
was like, do you want me to stop over? Like, do you need me to stop by anywhere so that you can throw up? He's like, no, 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 I'm good. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I had like two t-shirt bags, like two like plastic bags, ready to go for him in the car for him. So I was like, hey, in case you throw up, like throw up in
Uh.
here. He's like, no, no, I'm good, man, I'm good. And then like I remember like we like go slowly up to like this stop sign or this stoplight, and Darren, he's like okay, so he's laying down on my passenger seat and like with his eyes closed, so and he's not moving, he's just like breathing like regularly. So I'm like, okay, this dude's like knocked out, and I want to
Yeah.
make sure that he gets home safe and whatnot. And I remember he jumped up when we were slowing down. I was like, holy shit, like, what is happening right now? He jumps up, lowers the window, throws out a ton on the side of my car. I'm like, and I hear, like, the slush of
Ugh.
the throw up, like, on the side
Uh.
of the car. And I'm like, God damn it! Like, this is not
Uh,
happening right now. I was like, screw it,
uh,
whatever. I was like, all right, whatever.
I would
And
hate
then,
that.
and then, and then I get to his place and I drop him off, and he opens up the door and he's like, sorry, man. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, I just clean it, whatever. He opens the door, and as he gets out, he throws up more, and he throws up on the side of my like car while the door is open. So it's like the side of my seat. It's like the side of my like inside part of the car. And I was
uh,
like, dude, no way! I'm
oh
like, why
my
is this happening? Why are you
god.
doing this? But I was like, damn, like I just couldn't hold those feelings because I know how it is to be that messed up. Like you cannot control yourself. You are gone essentially. Like your consciousness is already gone. You're someone else. Like the you know what I mean. Like the alcoholic poison toxic has already like taken over your system and like you can't
Yeah,
think. Right.
yeah.
So like I don't hold that against him, but that is hilarious because I think he actually drunk the most that night out of anyone too. So he definitely went ham. Like Darren Darren definitely like tried edge canceling every drink, but then he eventually just like SD.
Yes, SD.
But
Yeah.
he got and like I was like screw it, man. And like I got home and I was like, man, you know what? I should like I was like super tired at that point and I did not want to deal out. I knocked out. Woke up the next day. I go to my car. I'm just like, and I was like kind of hungover the next day. And I'm just like, what is going on? What's going on with my car? And like I didn't remember it. And I go to the side of my car and I just like see like all this like yellow, orange, like red stuff on my car. I'm like, oh, I'm like that's right, dude. That
Damn.
Darren like destroyed the side of my car. And I'm like, all right, no problem. I'll just go to the car wash. And I open up the door, the handle, and like when the door opens, there's all the stuff from the inside. And I was like, oh my god, dude. I was like, I'm fucked. Like the worst thing to do when you're hungover the next day, early in the day, is to know that you have to take care of stuff.
Uh,
I'm not that. That is like the absolute worst thing in the world when you're super duper hungover and you know you have like the next like you have so many different tasks and so many different errands to do that same day. And like
yeah.
I was like,
That's so
screw it,
lame.
whatever,
That
man. But
sucks.
to be honest, I actually really like the I actually really like I remember a lot more about like how fun that night was because like we all I think that was the first time Darren and I like really drew like I was drinking with Darren. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
like it was a bonding night for us, even though I don't know how much he remembers of it.
I mean, like he clearly remembered him throwing up in your car though.
Yeah.
That's something he remembered.
What a legend, dude.
Yeah. He had that much power to
That
remember
dude,
that.
that dude's on the PR, bro.
Yeah, dude.
That dude's a legend. Yo, if people don't know about Darren, Darren is a G, dude. He's a straight G. Like, you don't need to give that guy a chance because he will give you a chance. Like, that's how G he
Hey.
is.
Well, hey, I think this will be yeah, let's cut this out. We're past an hour. So hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to our second episode of the podcast. I clearly did. This is Lil Homie with your host. I mean with your other host, Eric. You can follow me on twitter.com/Erzac, ERSAAC. And there you go. Alright.
Damn, I feel like I was ranting on, man.
I
Just
mean
had me sweet.
I
I
mean I
wanted to
mean
hear more from you, but
I
no, it's
know.
all good, G. It's,
Hey, hey, hey,
cool.
hey, 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 hey. Next time, like, get topics so you can, I could actually think about things.
Hey, man, I wanted to, we're all good. We got next week. No worries
All
about
right,
it. You know
okay,
what
all
I
right,
mean?
all right, all right, all right,
All right.
all right,
See
guys.
you,
All right,
boys.
I'll see you
See you,
guys.
Isaac.
All right, see you, dude.